just hours after a group of German officers tried to assassinate Adolf Hitler. At his military headquarters, the infamous Wolf's Lair in East Prussia, Hitler stunned everyone. By calmly sticking to his schedule, he even went ahead with a planned meeting with Italy's fascist leader, Benito Mussolini, as if nothing had happened. This failed assassination attempt was the climax of years of planning by different resistance groups within Germany. They believed that killing Hitler would spark a rebellion and bring down the Nazi regime. But it's important to remember not all of these conspirators were heroes in the moral sense. Many weren't driven by a desire to end the Holocaust, but rather by the hope of saving Germany from total collapse. In fact, some were deeply involved in the Nazi system themselves. One of the most surprising names among the conspirators was Berlin's police chief, Wolf-Heinrich Graf von Helldorff. Born into nobility on October 14, 1896, in Merseburg, Helldorff had a privileged upbringing, raised in a wealthy household. He was educated by private tutors before graduating from a gymnasium. In 1914, the same year World War I broke out, he joined the German army, fought on both the Western and Eastern fronts, and earned the Iron Cross first and second class for bravery after the war. Like many disillusioned soldiers, Helldorff joined the Freikorps paramilitary groups made up of veterans who violently opposed communists and blamed them for Germany's defeat. In 1920, he took part in the Kapp Putsch, a failed coup against the Weimar Republic. When it collapsed, he fled to Italy to escape arrest. Later that year, he married Ingeborg Eleanor von Wedel, and the couple went on to have 5 children. Helldorff officially joined the Nazi Party in August 1930. Just a few months later, he joined the SA, the Nazi Party's paramilitary wing, and quickly climbed the ranks, becoming the SA leader in Berlin on September 12, 1931. Coinciding with the Jewish New Year, Helldorff organized a violent anti-Jewish riot on Kurfürstendamm, one of Berlin's most famous boulevards. A mob of about 1,000 men attacked Jews in the streets, shouting threats and beating anyone in their path. Helldorff and his chief of staff, Karl Ernst, were arrested, but only received minor fines. Instead of disgrace, the incident made Helldorff a star within the Nazi ranks. His lawyers, to names that would later become notorious, Hans Frank and Roland Friesler. In the summer of 1932, Helldorff helped recruit another key Nazi figure, Joachim von Ribbentrop, who would go on to serve as Hitler's foreign minister. After Hitler became chancellor in January 1933, Helldorff's rise continued. He led the SS in Berlin and then in Brandenburg. He allegedly gave the chilling order that for every Nazi killed, 10 Marxists should be executed. In March, he was appointed police president of Potsdam, and by the end of the year, he had a seat in the Reichstag. In July 1935, he reached a peak of power, becoming police president of Berlin. But behind his powerful image, Helldorff's personal life was unraveling. He lost his estate in 1928 due to bad investments, gambling, and reckless spending. He separated from his wife, had a bitter fallout with his mother, and constantly struggled with debt. He once refused to pay for a new Mercedes and routinely ignored bills from his tailor and horse trainer. Despite holding high office, Helldorff lived off massive, interest-free loans from Nazi funds, loans he never repaid. One of his most unexpected financial backers was a Jewish stage magician and psychic named Erich Jan Hannessen, who frequently lent him money to help him maintain the illusion of aristocratic wealth. As Berlin's police chief, Helldorff became a major player in the persecution of Jews. On June 19, 1936, propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels wrote in his diary, "Helldorff is now proceeding radically on the Jewish question. Many arrests. We will free Berlin of Jews." In 1938, Helldorff issued a 76-point directive targeting Jews with constant harassment, trading them on the Sabbath, imposing heavy fees, and conducting endless inspections. Goebbels praised his methods, calling them rigorous and comprehensive. Helldorff also launched the so-called Helldorff donation campaign, extorting Jews trying to emigrate in exchange for confiscating their passports. On November 8, 1938, the New York Times quoted him bragging that Berlin's Jewish population had been disarmed. The next day, he was promoted to Obergruppenführer to a U.S. lieutenant general. That same night, Kristallnacht began, the Night of Broken Glass. Across Germany, Austria, and Czechoslovakia, synagogues were set on fire. Jewish businesses smashed, homes looted, 91 Jews were murdered, and 30,000 more were rounded up and sent to concentration camps. In Berlin, Helldorff was one of the main organizers of this state-sponsored terror. When World War II broke out in 1939, Helldorff took charge of deporting Jews from Berlin. By 1943, he was promoted to higher police leader of Greater Berlin. After the Allied landings in Normandy in June 1944, many German officers realized Hitler was leading the country to ruin. Helldorff joined the now famous conspiracy led by Claus von Stauffenberg to assassinate Hitler and seize control of the government. On July 20, 1944, Stauffenberg planted a bomb in Hitler's briefing room. The explosion went off, but Hitler survived, shielded by a heavy oak table leg. The conspirators didn't know he had survived and launched Operation Valkyria, but the plan quickly fell apart due to confusion and poor communication. Helldorff's role was supposed to be crucial. He was meant to ensure the Berlin police wouldn't interfere and might even support the coup, but his hesitation exposed his uncertainty. In the end, his influence had been overestimated. He was arrested by the Gestapo on July 24th. The betrayal rocked the Nazi leadership. Goebbels, who had long supported him, was furious. Himmler named Helldorff first among the traitors in a speech. Even Hitler raged that he had paid Helldorff's debts for 5 times, never less than 100,000 Reichsmarks. During interrogation, Helldorff admitted he had lost faith in Hitler after the disaster at Stalingrad. On August 8th, he was expelled from the Nazi Party and 2 days later removed from the Reichstag. At his trial on August 15, 1944, in front of the notorious Judge Roland Freisler, Helldorff did the unthinkable. He declared that Hitler was Germany's ruin. He became the highest-ranking Nazi official convicted for the plot. That same day, he was executed at Plötzensee prison in Berlin. Before his hanging, Hitler ordered that he be forced to watch 3 other executions. Helldorff was then hanged from a meat hook using a thin rope, a brutal method that could prolong death for up to 20 agonizing minutes. Thank you for watching the Map of Memories channel. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next episode. We truly appreciate your support and we'll see you again soon.